hour, Jason wasn't really too kind to Liverpool. In fact, he wasn't really too kind to Liverpool when they beat Dortmund. Jamie Carragher phoned up and Jason sort of, he went a bit quiet, really. Went a bit quiet. Tonight, Jason has called Jurgen Klopp Brendan Klopp, saying there's no difference between him and Brendan Rodgers.
Well, there are signs.
Said there were holes in Liverpool's defence. I've written all this down. And they definitely will not win the league.
Stand by that.
Well, would you believe, Jamie Carragher has phoned up to have his say. Jamie, good evening.
Hiya, boys. You're okay? You've wound me up again.
Jeez.
Well, Jamie, listen, thank you so much for phoning up. Jason went off on one earlier on, and he actually said, when we went to a break, he went, I'm safe, because Carragher's on air. And I said, well, he comes off air about 10:30, so I wouldn't say you're that safe. I'm so glad you've phoned up. So you've just heard what I said. Let's start with the first one. He doesn't see any big difference between your current manager and your last manager. Is that unfair?
Yeah, I think it's unfair. I'm not having a go at Brendan Rodgers. I think you have different types of managers. They play different ways. But, I mean, you look at the CV, Jurgen Klopp's got what he's done in Germany, been to a Champions League final. There's no doubt he's a top-class manager. Maybe this Premier League's full of them. I think Conte's another, what you class as A-list managers who most clubs around Europe would like. And I think Jurgen Klopp certainly falls into that category. And I think he has something about him, there's no doubt. And I think you can see that in Liverpool results, especially in the big games. You have to obviously win more of the smaller games, but in the big games, I think you can see the difference that he has.
But Jamie, every year I hear from Liverpool fans, it's our year, and then you look at the Burnley result and you think, no, it's not, it can't be, there's no way it's going to be Liverpool's year.
Well, listen, I mean, I think a Liverpool fan come on before, didn't they? The last couple of them was maybe dreaming that it could be a Leicester scenario. I mean, if you ask me, do I think Liverpool will win the league? I'd probably say no. But you look up at how they performed in those big games, and you go back to the inconsistency again. But the fact, the year that they went for the title under Brendan Rodgers, I think it was probably a similar situation. Everyone thought they'd be fighting for top four, the same as this team. And that season they had no Europe. And I think that's going to make a massive impact for Chelsea as well. I think this season, no Europe. And I think the way Liverpool played at high intensity, I think we've all questioned whether they can do that in England through a full season. But you've certainly got a much better chance of doing it when you haven't got many midweek games. So I think that's going to be a massive help for Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp going forward. I mean, I still don't think Liverpool win the league, but I think they've got a great shout of finishing top four. And who knows, like that season a couple of years ago with the extra rest the players have.
Jamie, I've looked at Liverpool since Klopp has taken over, and I've called him Brendan Klopp because the way that Liverpool still concede goals, and I think cheap goals, reminds me actually of Brendan. Going forward, under Brendan, Liverpool were brilliant. That year, I think, scored 50 Premier League goals. And Liverpool scored more goals in 2016 than any other team. Yet you look at the league position where they finished up, and you think to yourself, why are they not higher? Why are they not? Are you telling me now that this is going to be the year they do get Champions League football under Klopp?
I think Liverpool have got a good chance of that this season. I think the way they've started has done very well. I mean, last season, a lot of people said, maybe there's not that much difference in, you calculate the points won each manager has or wherever they finish in the league. But one, it wasn't Jurgen Klopp's squad. And number two, they had that many games because they've done so well in the cup. You know what it's like when you play so many games, you don't train properly. And I think the big thing for managers now, how they train, how the condition players are in, how they work on them tactically through the week. And I think he had no chance to train last season because of so many games. And it takes its toll in the end. He got to 2 cup finals. I think he's done a very good job last season. But of course, this season he'll be judged probably a little bit more harshly. The honeymoon period's over, so he'll certainly be judged there at the end of the season.
Jamie, let me ask you about their defence as well. Jason wasn't too kind about it. Said that Chelsea didn't really test them tonight. I thought that
first half. I
thought that was slightly unfair. He actually said about 15 minutes ago that you and he could have played centre half tonight, and it was still made no difference. If I'm being honest, I thought it was quite harsh. I thought it was a great team performance from goalkeeper to attacker, and I thought every single Liverpool player deserved a pat on the back. But Jason doesn't see it like that. No, but you don't. No, but you don't. You said their defence was not.
No.
Jay, come on. I read it down.
Here's what I said.
Their defence was. Jason was a player.
Here's what I said. That the way that Liverpool played first half, the way Chelsea played first half, Liverpool weren't putting. I felt sorry for Costa. Costa was left completely isolated, and
Yeah,
you can't play Matic and Kante, the same team, unless you engage the man on the ball. And Henderson was not engaged. He didn't let he had time and space on the ball. They were 10, 15 yards too deep. And I criticised Man United against City for doing the same thing, and last night against Feyenoord. And I'm sorry, but Chelsea done the same. So I don't take anything away from Liverpool. They were brilliant tonight.
I think if you listen to, I don't know if you've listened to it, but Jurgen Klopp, Conte done an interview with Thierry Henry on the show before the game, and he was saying how it was such a bad time to play Liverpool, which I thought was a strange comment. And then Matic got an interview before the game, and he said the same. He said, we've looked at all the clips of Liverpool, very dangerous opponent. And to me, listening to those comments and then watching the first half, it seemed to me Chelsea must have been obsessed in the build-up to this game of stopping Liverpool, and they forgot about their own game. And Conte was asked after the game, did he deliberately set up like that? He said yes, because Liverpool caused you so many problems behind the defence. We played deep, which again I just found strange, because I think on paper, if you put both sides up against each other or squads, you'd probably take Chelsea, some of the players that they have. And I thought, well, being at home, it felt like they played like the away side in the first half. I just couldn't get my head around.
I totally agree with that. I mean, I was there for the first half, and I couldn't believe what
Chelsea
I was...
weren't.
Well, that you got off with,
Jay, I left at half time, and I was listening to it in the car, and when we got the goal, but it felt like Chelsea had about a 5-minute spell, but that was it. And I mean, listen, Conte's decision making on substitutions this season has been the difference between Chelsea having an average start and a good start. It hasn't been brilliant, it's been good. Tonight, I've got to say, he got it wrong to leave those substitutions and not bring Batshuayi on, go 4-4-2, like he did against West Ham, like he did against Watford.
Yeah, I agree. We mentioned that after the game, because at the start of the second half, Oscar pushed right up front alongside Costa, so you think, well, if he's going to do that, why not just put the centre forward on to do it properly? And how late he made those substitutions was something we were looking at as well. But as I said, I think his record of the last few games, and I think you're spot on, he has changed games since he's come into Chelsea. But maybe tonight he's come up against the Klopp fella, hasn't he?
Jamie, let me ask you.
Brendan Klopp, you say.
James, don't buy it. let me ask you, you sound quite excited about Liverpool, yet when you've been asked a few times, you don't want to say they can win the Premier League. Is that because you genuinely don't believe they can, or you just don't want to bock it?
No, listen, I don't think Liverpool are the best team in the league. I think there's probably 2 or 3 teams at least better than them. I just think Liverpool have a huge advantage, as I said, along with Chelsea, with no European football, and you don't know how that will work going on through the season, who do well in the Cups, maybe fixture backlog for the sides when you get to February, March, April. That can make a massive difference, and you'd hope that with less games for Liverpool, you'd have less injuries, players are a lot fitter, a lot sharper, different things, so that could make the difference. I mean, when Liverpool almost won the league, there's no way you'd say they had the best team, but they had the best player by a mile in Suarez, and they had other advantages. They got knocked out the Cups early, the FA Cup and the Carling Cup. Maybe that may happen again this season for Liverpool. I hope not, but that would give them a great chance as well in that situation. But I think for Liverpool and Klopp, I think that the main target is to try and get top 4, and maybe if you get to February, March, and you're there or thereabouts, you say, OK, let's go for it.
Jamie, while I've got to ask you about Jordan Henderson. I've said in the past I'm not his biggest fan tonight, but he seems to have this new run of form, actually, sitting in front of the back 4. His goal tonight was exceptional. Do you think where he's playing at the moment is his best position?
I don't really, because I think in that position it's more about reading the game and seeing danger early, which I think he's fine at. But I think Jordan Henderson's biggest asset is his energy and covering every blade of grass on the pitch. And I think in that role he's a bit... Listen, I think he's played it well. I think he's playing well the last few games, but I still think that's the role Emre Can's going to fill when he comes back from injury. And if that's the case, I think Jordan may be more suited to more playing just to the side. The way he played alongside Steven Gerrard a couple of years ago, when Stevie played that holding role and Jordan was basically doing the running for Stevie, for Daniel Sturridge, at times Suarez as well. So I think that's his best role. But listen, he's playing well at the moment, and I don't think you could move him at the moment.
Another player I think you can put in that category is Adam Lallana, who looks...
brilliant.
Who just looks like he's starting to fill the potential that we saw at Southampton and was brought to Liverpool for that reason. Wijnaldum has come in, said Mane as well. But the one area, Jamie, that I cannot believe has not been identified and rectified is the left back. And you've got a brilliant professional in James Milner. filling in at left back, and that can't go on surely for the rest of the season.
Well, I think it will. I think whether he buys someone in January, he obviously rates him higher than Moreno. And I mean, I think if you're a left back and the manager's playing a right midfielder in your position ahead of you, I think that tells you that your time's probably, well, you're on borrowed time at the club. So I would imagine in the future, whether that's in January or at the end of the season, I mean, ideally he's on a wait till the end of the season, but I would imagine a left back would come in and Moreno I'd go the other way, and Milner may become your backup left back, and it wouldn't be too bad then. Because he's not an out-and-out left back. But I must say, the way he's taken through, I think he's done very well. But, I mean, to go there at this stage of your career, you're on your weak foot. I've played there at times myself, with my right foot on the left back. It's not easy. But I think he's doing very well at the moment. But, as I said, you don't think it could last for a full season. I'm sure Jurgen Klopp and the scouting team are still scouring the wheel for a left back, because obviously you can see he's got no time for Moreno.
Jamie, listen, thank you so much for coming on, putting Jason in his place. Before I let you go, do you think that Chelsea will improve this season on last season and get top 8?
Hold on.
Klopp back to where they belong in the Kerry
Hold on. Liverpool going backwards. You beat us 3-1 last season.
Yeah, you're nearly catching us up. You might get a draw in a couple of years.
Yeah, exactly. Have a safe journey back. Thanks so much for coming on, Jamie.
Cheers, boys. Thanks a lot.
There you go. What an absolute legend. The wonderful Jamie Carragher